Hey, this is Andres.
This is Kevin.
And if you're struggling with what to do after college or high school, just watch this video. We talk about how we found sales and how it's helped us through our career.
It's a skill that you're gonna need, so watch this. 2, 3. That sounded delicious, bro.
That did. So we wanted to talk this episode on how we have started sales, since it was, for me and I think Kevin too, it was something that's helped us bring our income up significantly, and it's what helped us to start to save up. But yeah, I'll start with that.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, because I started I actually have it right here. I started maybe 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago now. I think I hit 3 years in September. And at the beginning, I didn't even know I was applying for a sales position. I just went in trying to make more money. But it worked. It worked out. And then I think the amount of benefits that come with having control of your income instead of having a fixed income is one of the biggest selling points of that. And then I lasted where I was almost 2 years. I think I hit a year and 9 months, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And that's right for his first hit 6 figures.
I've actually never asked you how much did you make your first year?
My first year, I started in September. It was like the 4 months. I made like 30K.
Oh, it was like 4 months. That's pretty good for 4 months.
I think if I had started that sooner,
that would have been like 90K, no?
No, if I had started sales sooner, because I started when I was 19 or 18.
19, 18. Yeah.
It was 3 years ago. Hold up, I'm doing the math real quick. Yeah, I was 19. If I had started when I was 18 or 17, I think I would be way further in life than I am right now. But I guess, yeah, it all depends, and I think that's why I wanted to talk about this in this episode, because I feel like it can help a lot of people that don't know what to do.
True.
How did you start? How did you get into that?
Honestly, my story's a little different. I pretty much did everything. Before I started working, I was like, well, everyone's graduating college, everyone's doing this and that. They pretty much, or it seems like they know what to do. But I was like one of those people that was like, oh, what am I gonna do now? People are like, already know what they're gonna dedicate themselves to the rest of their lives, and I'm over here, not procrastinating, but it's just like, purely did not know. At the time, I used to play a lot of soccer, so I had that in the back of my head, like, be professional. But that is very, very hard. Only I think less than 1% make it. And I'm not saying that I didn't have the talent, but it's very hard. And sometimes you gotta get a head start in order for you to be a successful one and stuff like that. So that was kind of like, yeah, it was somewhat of a plan, but I was like, all right, I need a plan B in case this doesn't work. So I was like, well, I'm gonna try everything. So I think I did fast food. I worked at, I'm pretty sure we talk about this.
Yeah, those are fire. I love that place.
I'm tired of that place.
You're tired of that place?
Yeah, because I used to work there, bro. So smelling the food and every day was
I always got the super quesadillas there with sirloin, and I can't get tired of that. The beans there are fire. I hate beans, dude. I fucking
Which one
hate
did you
beans.
go to?
All of them. We usually went to the one on Bassett.
I used to work on the one on the outlets.
We've never been to that one. I might have been there once or twice.
Yeah, it's pretty popular there. But anyways, the point is,
the beans are so good. And I hate beans, bro.
I tried that. Then I think I did for a manufacturing company. We actually made foam, like the white foam you see when you buy a new computer. You know how it comes with the white foam in the box and stuff. We made that. What else?
That's
I used to work customer service as well. I did customer service for a major bank in America because legally I cannot say the name because you sign like what are they called? NDAs, yeah. And what else? I think I did a job. Pretty sure I did construction too, but that one was like a couple months. It wasn't that much. But yeah, pretty much I tried everything from customer service to construction, everything. And honestly, none of it's like stick with me. None of it was like I want to do this for a very long time. It really wasn't. That's until when I used to work customer service. It was this company. It was like a third-party company that did the customer service for the actual bank. And everyone there was just like soulless, I want to say. You would walk in the hallways and people would be like walking down like this because it was like back to back to back to back calls, so you really didn't get any breaks. You had like 2 15-minute breaks, and I believe a 30-minute lunch. So it was like an hour for like, what was that, 8 hours? So it was very tiring. People were like, they paid good, but it was because you were pretty much a slave. And I don't know, after seeing that, I was like, I don't want to do this again, like ever again. So I pretty much started looking for jobs, and I found this insurance company called Allstate. It was an agency that worked for Allstate. So it was like, again, like I want to say third party. It wasn't really a third party. It's more like, it's not the actual Allstate. It's like a company that works for
It's
Allstate.
like the franchise version of,
there you go.
Insurance companies.
And so I started with that, and because I saw other people talking about like sales and like how you're in charge of your income and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm young, I might as well give it a shot. And I did, and I mean that's pretty much it. I started doing really good, and my first months were just ramping, and yeah, within the first couple months I started making more than I was making in the bank, and that at that time had been my highest one. But that's pretty much how I started. That's how I found sales. And I don't know if you want to continue from there.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you, like, what was the turning point where you decided that you were like, hey, this is what I want to do, because you didn't have that in the other companies that you work with.
Yeah, like I said, people were just walking, they were just living. No one could wait until the weekend. Actually,
It was exciting. The weekend was the exciting part.
and it wasn't even a weekend. It was like you used to work from Tuesday to Saturday, and then you'd have Sunday, Monday off. So it was like half a weekend and
got the
half a
Saturday
weekday.
to do
Yeah, so people would usually do stuff that they didn't get to do during the week on Mondays. That's why it didn't feel like a weekend.
Monday's kind of cool though.
Nothing else.
Okay, it depends. It depends.
Yeah, it depends.
But like when you changed to sales, because I know I got super lucky. I went from working fast food to not working and just doing college, and like deciding that I just needed an income, and then I just hit the jackpot on my first try. Just for reference, I applied to one job when I was doing my applications.
Yeah.
And it was I was looking through the Google search, and I was just trying to find the one that said that pays the most. Like that's what I was looking for. I was so focused on making money, and like I struggled on it, man. I got super lucky. I applied once, I got the job, and it was like a home run hit.
Hey, some people say it's luck, but maybe it was skill. You know, maybe he had the skill in him.
I think but oh man, I don't know. Like, what about sales was different than your other jobs for you?
For me, it's just the income.
The income, like having control.
In my opinion, in my humble opinion, like working construction, I'll rather call people than work construction, because construction is physically demanding versus mentally demanding. I think they're in the same level. It's just in one of them you earn a little bit more. Even though there's some really good jobs out there that pay very good for construction people, when it comes to sales, you have like a, how do I say it? It's like like higher chance of making more. Like the potential is there, and you when it comes to construction, you're kind of capped at what you're able to physically take, and it's like
I think that's a good way
you can take more. Yeah,
that's a good way to put it because like having just the ability to do more. Like if you want to be mediocre in sales, you absolutely can. Like you can make regular income and put in like regular amounts of effort and like not do anything for half of your day and just coast by. But if you really want to make the money and you like the 8 hours that you work, you're putting them into work, you're going to make double or even triple of the people that are not.
Yeah, so there's people who even like who barely do anything in sales, or they're like average. We'll keep it at that. They're average, and they're still making like 45,000 a year and stuff like that. So the top performers are the ones that make the 6 figures. Those are the top of the line.
And just for reference, for the field that I'm in and the fields that Kevin are in, like the top performers at the top of the fields, they're in like the multiple 6 figures, like 200,000-300,000, and that's where we're trying to get there right now.
Hopefully with time, it's gonna take a lot of work, but we'll be there.
But yeah, I just think that having control over your income and like it's such a good opportunity because if you work at an hourly job and you're doing everything that all other people aren't, and you guys are all working 40 hours, but the other people aren't doing anything, like you're making the same as someone that isn't putting in work and isn't using their time outside of work to learn more.
Yeah.
So I really like that because usually on weekends I like watch videos on how to sell better or how to understand people better and how to understand problems better for them to help them solve it.
That's right.
And like you can tell how much of a difference that makes, but that wouldn't matter in an hourly job.
Exactly, and it's just, to me it was very discouraging coming off of high school. I was like, I didn't want to go to college because in my opinion I was like, I don't think I want to do something through college. I was like, to me it was a waste of time. I'm one of those kids that like I can do very good in school, but if I don't want to then I won't. Yeah. Like I have to, actually want it, for me to do good. But I was coming off of high school and I would start these jobs, right, and I'd be like, like super hardworking and everything, always outperforming everyone, but it didn't matter because at the end of the day we were still getting paid the same, and people favor it over other people. So people who were there for longer or were family members or friends and stuff like that would always get the actual management position and stuff like that versus the one who actually deserved it. So I was a little bit discouraging when it came to the working side of that. So sales was one of the few positions that's out there that you're actually ranked based on your performance, and you're actually promoted based on your performance. So if someone is bringing revenue and you have person B is bringing in revenue and person A isn't, well, of course you're gonna want to have the person that makes the most revenue for your team. So even though you like this other person better, this one's more adequate for the job, and it's stuff like that that attracted me to sales. And yeah, it's like almost like having your own small business, almost, I want to say. One of my old bosses put it that way. It was pretty
small business. That's a good thing. I think a lot of sales places put it that way because I heard that too when I started. Like,
you're actually our boss.
Well, before that I heard that too.
Like,
when I worked, when I first started, they said that too, and it was like, hey, you're in charge of your own business. You're like, it's your income, it's your business. You're making your money. But I think that's awesome. For example, me, I went to college straight out of high school, and that did not go very well. I want to go back eventually. I've been trying to get credits, and I went to school like part-time right after work. I think I went to afternoon classes, and but I wouldn't go for the degree. I would just go to get more knowledge about business and business laws and things. I want to take some economics classes. Hey, I think we should actually like maybe go do that at the community college here just for fun.
I think I've been thinking about that. I have like a whole like pamphlet on it too.
That's cool. That's where I took my motorcycle lessons.
Oh. I didn't know that.
It's like the newspaper.
Oh yeah. Where
That's,
it has like real estate and stuff like that.
That's where I got my motorcycle lessons from.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. But like for example, now I see school in a different way. I actually want to go to learn. Unlike some other people, I just want to go to make their parents happy or get their degree or
make more money, which a lot of times it doesn't pan out. I think if going to school should be for education because you can build careers outside of it.
Yeah.
Like we have.
Unless you're trying to be like a doctor.
Yeah.
In that case, then yeah, you have to go to school because you can't be a doctor without having an actual degree. Or if you want to be an engineer or I don't know, like something that does require that degree, then by all means go for it. But like art and all of the other stuff, I don't know. It's iffy. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. Like if you have a plan for your life and you want to go study art, go for it. Like go learn art. But if you're trying to do that to make money, maybe not the best option.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you feel like maybe starting sales has helped you in ways that like outside of the workspace? How do you feel like that's impacted you?
It's almost like sports. I mean, I've always played sports, so it's like you have certain tries to get something right, and if you don't get it right in that one try, on the second one you kind of tweak what you need to do so that the outcome is better or the results are better. And to me, that's what sales is. It's like repetition. Even with sales, I feel like most of them are similar, pretty much. It's just building the trust, the value in the product, the trust in the person, and I have way more opinions on that. But what was the question?
Like how outside
how's it help?
Outside of work, like what's different that you're like this would not have happened if I had stayed in construction?
Oh.
Or in something else.
Oh man, those are ifs. But I would say maybe income wise, I would have stayed probably around the same. Maybe with the inflation adjusted, maybe like 1 or 2% increases in promotions, stuff like that. But other than that, I'm pretty sure I would have been the same. And I feel like sales, not only did it increase my income, it builds a skill for talking to people. I used to be a lot more timid when it came to speaking to people or just in general really, or communication wise. I definitely got better with sales. I can articulate words a little better. Maybe right now to you I sound dumb. But back then I used to be, way worse. But no, I can articulate words better. I understand communication a little easier. I can make it flow a little better. And yeah, stuff like that. But I don't know what have you.
I think it just gets better with time too. When I first started in sales, I tried to practice because it's a super social job, and I was going to the gym and into the recreation center at the school that I was going to, and just talking to random people, just saying hi in the most uncomfortable moments. And I had friends that were like, "Hey, dude, how do you do that?" I wish I could do that because like people get super timid, and I think that's a big thing. Like having social skills and being able to talk to people even when you think that it's not the most comfortable thing.
Yeah.
I think that has an opportunity to open doors for you, and like I've met so many random people that I wouldn't have met under any other circumstances that I still talk to. I think that's how I met you and
that's how you met me
Victor.
actually.
I was at the gym and I was talking to we have a mutual friend that I met before him. And I was just practicing talking. I went and backed people up in the gym while they were doing their sets. And
you
stuff.
sold me, bro. No, you were trying to sell me.
I talked to Victor first. To Victor.
So you talked to Victor, right?
Yeah,
And
I like dapped him up because he hit like a really heavy set, and I was like, hey, good stuff, bro. And then he introduced me to you and Ari, and I was like,
oh, that's right. I thought, okay,
yeah.
That's right.
I think, yeah, that's like, I don't think we would have been friends.
We had this
in
one
other situations.
friend. Yeah, we had this one friend in common. His name is Victor. And so he knew him. Where did you know him from?
From the gym.
From the gym. And then I went to middle school with this guy. And I think at one time we were at the gym, I was with another buddy of mine, and I saw Victor, and I said hi to Victor. And then you were with Victor, right?
Yeah.
And then that's how I met him.
That's how we met.
But like, yeah, and it's just like situations like those. You can always, I know there's this one saying like the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with is
who you're going to become.
It's who you're going to
something
become.
Like that.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
Something along those lines. And yeah, I mean, as soon as I started like picking his brain a little bit, I was like, oh, this guy's cool. Like he has like that grind mentality. And sales made that a little easier for both of us, because if he wasn't like the way he was and I wasn't in sales, we probably would have not like.
I think you were still in Bank of America at the time.
I didn't know. I think I was at Allstate already.
Dude, how long ago did we meet?
Yeah, it's been years, bro. I think it's been like 2 or 3 years. No, 3 years is too much. It's like 2 years.
Yeah, a little bit. No, we met 3 years ago. We just didn't become closer till like a year and a half ago. Yeah,
that's true.
Since
that's right. But yeah, he actually invited me to his job, right?
Yeah, we both tried to poach each other from our jobs, and he won. He's a better salesperson. He sold me on his job. But I think that building connections, that's a crazy. Like, I think if I wasn't in sales, we wouldn't be here right now, probably. But that's a big way, and not only that, like the financial aspect is a super big sector where that changed, because I was able to save like half of my income from that job, and like there I was like, I don't know what to do. like what am I gonna do with the money that I've saved? And I was able to put the down payment for the house, and I feel like this is my first business type.
Yeah.
Like owning a duplex that I'm renting out, that's a good like little toe in the door for.
Yeah. And if you're watching this and you know you have a very good paying job and you have a very good opportunity, take him as an example. He had that opportunity for about a year or so, and he really took advantage of it. I mean, most of that income went into his home right now, which we're in. Yeah, pretty much all of it, and it's really a good investment. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is gonna pay off in the future. Maybe we're not seeing the numbers that we want yet.
No, right now I'm in the negatives. Like,
but I'm sure in the future, it's gonna be very vigorous. Yeah. Sometimes you have to go. You know what J. Cole said? Beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success, bro. Jeez,
that hit my heart. That hit my soul.
But no, yeah, it's really pretty much because everyone has their own paths. He had a different life than I had, and vice versa. So we both have advantages and disadvantages. They're all different. Everyone's different, right? Because it's different circumstances. But it's just playing your cards well, and not only thinking short term, but thinking long term. Before I started doing sales, I think I was thinking very short term. Like I was thinking like next few months, and then after starting doing sales, I was like, okay, I need to start
years, bro.
I was like, I need to start thinking years.
Yeah.
And that pretty much just changed everything in my life for the better, 100%. But in terms of perspective, have you always seen like long term, or what do you always?
I've always seen long term since high school. I think I had like. I've changed a lot. I always knew I wanted to do business because, I don't know, something about just, I feel like the way society is placed, money is a big determiner for success, and it's like, it's implicated on us since a very young age, but not a lot of people do the actions. Like a lot of people hold back and then, hey, I'm gonna become a millionaire, but I don't know what I'm going to do. And I think that's a big reason why I went to college, because I didn't know what I wanted to do and I didn't know that sales was like an option. And I just went through the business career path.
Were you planning on getting an MBA?
Yeah, I guess that was the initial plan. And maybe in the future, like when I have more time to go back, I'll go back.
Yeah.
Because I still have a few credits and I'm maybe like halfway done with it.
Okay.
But like I started my career and I wanted to focus on that specifically, and doing both, there's not a lot of time to put your focus in one thing.
Yeah.
But if I had stuck with it, I probably would not have my house right now.
Yeah.
So I think it was worth it, but I think it's also worth it to learn new things, because learning is always important.
It's something that should never stop, because once you stop, I feel like your growth stops or it declines. It doesn't grow at the same rate, and then eventually you do hit that plateau, and you won't grow anymore.
Inflation gets you. You're making the same, but you need more.
Yeah, basically.
Especially with like AI and the way everything's taking over, if you stay doing the same things, the other people are going to progress with that.
There's some jobs right now that we have that won't be available in a couple years. Like some that I can think of is, and this is gonna be a very controversial take, but real estate. I feel like most of the real estate agents will go out of business eventually with AI.
How so? I actually want to hear your perspective on this really quick.
It's controversial, but AI actually told me, so it's coming from the source itself.
What did it tell
I'm just
you?
playing. No, pero what I'm thinking, in Spanish there a little bit. No, but
I did that on a cold call the other day. I was cold calling, and I was like, espérame. I started speaking Spanish, and my boy was like, what does that mean?
That's funny. No, but well, what does a real estate agent do mainly?
Honestly, marketing. Oh, dude, hold up. I see where you're going.
That's pretty much
okay.
Pretty much it. I mean, marketing is gonna become something that's gonna be done online versus in person, and I feel like the conversion rates are gonna be a lot higher through social media engaging and stuff like that. That the AI can take care of that versus building the personal.
I actually want to ask you on that, because how do you feel AI compares to real relationship building?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
I don't think it does. I mean,
do you feel like that's an aspect
just the feelings? I mean, unless AI can develop feelings, then that's when I'll be like, oh, like sales. I need to diversify.
I need to be like an AI programmer or something.
I need to diversify on my income sources, but no. I think it will be. I mean, in order for it to develop feelings, I think we're still pretty long way, but it can have some conversion rates, I believe, with time.
Yeah.
It's gonna little by little start, converting a certain percentage more, but I don't see it anytime soon, like within the next 30 years.
I feel like a lot of the aspects of our jobs are like finding emotions in people and finding those pain points.
Exactly.
How do you feel like that plays a role in real estate, that maybe it stops AI from taking over?
I think it's the marketing, really. Because I think it will shorten the time that you need to connect to someone, from getting a person that's interested in buying a home to an actual agent. I feel like it's gonna shorten that time by a lot. And I don't think it's gonna be completely wiped off the face of earth. No, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some agents out there, but it's gonna be harder for them to
buying a home is the most emotional purchase ever. That's why maybe I'm a little bit against that take, but maybe we can do a whole video on AI taking over jobs and how to prevent that.
I'll expand more on it.
I think
right now,
that would be pretty good, because AI capabilities can go crazy because it doesn't necessarily need to have emotions, but it just
Yeah.
needs to know how to understand them or emulate them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I feel like to sales, you need all aspects of it. It's like a combination that you need to get right in order for the sale to be closed. You gotta build the trust, right? So the trust goes two ways. It goes trust towards me, the person who I'm selling, and trust to the company that you're buying. So, or the product that you're buying, whether it's your, I don't know, you're buying a computer at like a store or a car or whatever, I don't know, a program or something online. Those two have to be there. And then on top of that, there's got to be a need. So the person actually has to need it, right? Because if you don't need it, then the person is going to be like, well, I don't actually need this, right? And then there's two other ones that I can't think of right now, but I'm sure it has to do with the pricing. So of course it has to be something that's achievable for the person, something that's, I guess, wallet friendly for them and for that specific, category of the person. If you're selling a $5 million home to, let's say, a poor person that actually needs it, trusts you, trusts the company and everything, but the budget isn't there, then they're not going to be able to buy it. Versus if you're selling a $5 million home versus to a person that's a billionaire and that they need it, they trust you, they trust the company, then they're going to buy it. So that's what I mean. So there's certain aspects there that you've got to take a look at, which we'll expand more on it eventually. But it's like a brief.
That's awesome. I think we can make a whole episode on that too. Because that's a whole can of worms, man. But I wanted to ask you, like, when you were looking, you were just looking for a job, right? What was it? Were you unemployed at that time?
No, I was working.
You were working?
Yeah, it was just that
the stress, the physical stress, maybe, the strain. You're a Bank of America.
So, yeah,
was it more so mental and financial?
It was. I feel like, and I think Steph Graham has a story like that one. I don't know if you ever heard of his story.
Tell me about it.
He was working for a company, and I could be completely wrong on what they did, but it was like a stock investment.
Yes, like an investment banker.
It was an investment banker. There you go. And he started very low at the very low. It was a data entry position, from what I remember. And so he started doing that. And
I've heard this story.
I think you
yes,
have heard this. He told it multiple times. But point is that he saw that other people were very depressed and very sad, just very like soulless. I almost want to say. And when that time came around of leaving work, like Friday afternoon, people were all like hyped up that it was the weekend and they didn't have to work for 2 days on this horrible place. Really, that's what kind of the same feeling I felt at that company. It was same thing. People would walk around close to me and they were like down, almost like nobody wanted to talk. Everyone was just depressed. It was like sad. Like as soon as you went in and then started seeing the people, everyone was just not mean people.
Yeah.
It was depressed.
Just sad people.
Yeah, dude, we should go one time. I'll ask permission from someone that works there, just so that you can see what I'm talking about. Like you would go in and it was just sad. People were walking around and just like with their head down. I'll never forget that feeling.
Do you think if they made triple what they were making, they'd walk around like that?
Probably not.
I think because from what you're telling me, that was like the environment was super similar to what my first job was, except everyone in my environment looked happy. Because I think it's the income difference, man.
It's the income difference, 100%. It was like you're getting paid enough to do the work that you're doing, but it's not enough. It's like just like right
it's
there
on the edge, dude. Because we also had like the back-to-back calls and the 2 15-minute breaks.
Yeah.
And then the 1 lunch break, and then everything else was just work.
Yeah.
So I think the environments were super similar. Just the main difference was.
And keep in mind, this is banking. It's like people's actual money. And the thing with this company, with this bank, it was that when it came to their check deposits, they were not the best. So imagine you work in construction, right? And then I'm your boss, and I write you a check for $2,000.
You're about to say something.
Half of that.
I can already hear it.
This guy. Half of that, is gonna go to rent, right? And you have rent due in like 2 or 3 days, but you're like, all right, I got the money, right? So I give it to you.
Equity in your rent.
So I give it to him, right? And so he has the check. So in his mind, he's like, all right, I made enough to pay rent for this, for this month. We'll be good. So he deposits the check. Now, the teller takes the check and everything's okay. No, this check is gonna process in 7 to 10 business days. And then you're like, wait, what?
That's crazy.
Like, how am I gonna pay
How
rent?
many of the customers that you dealt with were pissed off customers?
It was like a good 30% to 40. Yeah, like 40% more.
Okay.
So imagine this person who barely made enough to pay for rent has his funds taken from him, and then it's gonna be deposited into the account in 10 business days.
Could they just not cash it out?
Oh, they could.
They would have to go to another bank.
They would have to go to a Walmart or get like an actual bank. But not everyone knows.
It's not okay.
So they deposit the check, right? Even if they do it at the branch sometimes.
They take a commission home.
It would.
Because that happened to me when I took out my cash, like my checks.
Point is that they didn't get the money for the next 10 days, and they had rent due in 5 or 2. And it was just, so those types of people were the ones that would call us. So it was like angry people, like, dude, I need to feed my family. Like, this is
not a need.
It's not like working for a credit card company that the person's money is not theirs. I was working with the side of debit accounts, so it was actually like people's money. So it's difference in entitlement there. But yeah, that's the type of people that we were getting. People that were pissed off at the bank, and who's there to I guess, how do you say, de-escalate the situation? That was us. It was us, customer service, and through that I actually built like the callus.
That builds so much emotional intelligence, man.
Yeah, that was something else. So that's why I'm a little patient when it comes to customers that are angry and stuff like that.
I actually want to touch on that a little bit more because my job was retention. So it was a bunch of angry customers trying to cancel. My sales job was to get that angry customer that wanted to cancel and renew their 2-year contract. So it's like,
I know you hate to.
I know you hate us, man, but stay here another 2 years. So what I learned in my first few months, because a lot of people get confrontational, like, hey, I don't want this, it's too expensive. I'll make it cheaper for you, and then they're like, hey, I don't want it, it's too late. And a lot of people will be like, hey, you want it cheaper? I have cheaper. Like, this is what you wanted. Like, people will get confrontational towards the customer because of that. But like that just escalates them more instead of de-escalating them. And I quickly learned that wasn't working. Like that is not the way to keep a customer. Just give them their side. Like, hey, you're right. I would be pissed off too. But I want to help you, with what I can, because I'm the best option because I know that I have the best intentions, and maybe the other company that you're going with doesn't have the best intentions. It's a lot of being kind to them and understanding their pain instead of arguing, because that's gonna get you nowhere. It's gonna cut your commission checks, and it's going to affect the other person and get them a bad day. So being confrontational never wins. So I like that you brought that up, because I think that's built both of us a lot of emotional intelligence.
If you want to be successful in sales, you have to master that. You have to master that emotional intelligence. That if you know that this customer is mad, you cannot let it affect you. You have to find a way to, and I know there's customers sometimes that are hard, but you just gotta be patient. Just let them that's what I would do in that situation. It was like I would let them vent out for like a couple minutes, and then once they were done, I was like, hey, like I can't help you, but this is what I can do for you, and then you just go from there. In your case, I think it'd be maybe touching in, like, hey, like what made you come to us first? Like, what did you find value in one of our products? And it's just kind of touching that. I mean, their anger is like almost like fully gone. Now you're gonna make them maybe see the value again, right? Or how would you handle that? Or
I think it was very much like that, like building that, like you've been here this much, that experience was bad. Like, what can we do to mitigate that experience? Or if we can't fix it outright, how can we make sure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah.
Because like I use this verbiage, and like my boss at the time started using it after me because he was like, that is so real. I told him sometimes people just need to be heard. They don't want to cancel. They don't want to cancel their service. They don't want to change. They just want to be heard.
That's true.
Like and agreed with, not like argued against. So that's a big thing. Like right now, I feel like in the place that we're in now, that we don't deal with as many angry customers, it's more finding a pain. Like if a customer doesn't have a pain, well, they're not the right customer because you can't help them. They're already in a good situation.
Yeah, it's not really trying to sell them something. It's more
Trying
like
to help people.
help them. Yeah, it's different. If you think of them like as how I like to think of it, and I think it's been I've been very successful with that, is thinking of them like a brother or sister.
Yeah.
If it's a person that, like right now I'm doing life insurance, so I gotta put them in that brother situation, but they're a lot older than me. So I'll pretend like they're my brother or sister if it's a girl. I'll be like, hey, like, why have you gotten this? I mean, you've been, postponing this for 10 years already. Was the last time you got a life insurance? I mean, you haven't, it's luck actually that you haven't passed away or anything like that, but I mean, God forbid something happens. I mean, what are you gonna do or not you, because of course, you're gonna be on the other side, but your family, I mean, they're gonna be left with that financial burden. And now you're making them process, you're not sounding like you're selling because you're helping them. And it's better for both parties when you think of it that way. Or what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100% because I don't believe in selling something to someone that is not going to benefit from it. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't generate you any good, and it doesn't generate them any good. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna leave, and they're gonna be mad. They're gonna be upset with you and the company, and like it's bad for you and the person that you did that to.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that I've seen in most, if not all, top performers that I've worked with in my career. Like they have the best intentions towards the person, and I've seen that with the best people that I've worked with.
I think those are the most successful people. I mean, I've walked away from sales if I don't see the need. And yeah, I mean, it's like if you really gotta focus on helping them, because if you don't, then it sounds like you're doing a disservice to them.
Yeah.
It sounds more, more disservice. But going back to our point on how it has helped us, communication. Just like we're talking to you today, we were not like this all the time. I was a lot more shy. I'm sure he was.
I never talked to people when I was in high school. Do you believe that? Who do you think talks more between us?
This dude is like the most friendly person you'll ever encounter.
All my high school,
I don't think I've ever met someone that dislikes you.
dude, I did not talk to a single person in high school. Like half of the people that I graduated with will probably say, "Who the fuck are you?" if they see me around. Like I don't know you, man. Yeah. But I'll still, like right now, I'll probably say hi to them anyways.
Yeah, that definitely helped him and me as well. I mean, I would talk to people, but I would talk to only my group, and I would get out of there. It's just my group, and if I saw someone else walking or stuff like that, I wouldn't say hi to them. It was just my group, and
For me, it was school.
that's it.
Get home and play video games with the people that I talk to in school, the 4 or 5 people that I talk to.
To your little group, yeah. And sales, even me going to the store and then buying something, if the cashier said like, "Oh, did you find anything good?" I would like shy away. That was a nervous interaction. And sales made it to where
Are
like,
you talking to me?
yeah, if the now sales has better my communication on that point, a little bit better, because now if I go through the same interaction, I'll be like, yeah, my day's been like really good. How about yours? Like any plans for the weekend and stuff like that. So I'm a lot you know,
Outgoing.
outgoing. There you go. I'm more outgoing now versus if I didn't have sales. And not only that, which is articulating words too. I feel like I'm sure you've been through that too. That when before you started sales, when you would talk, you would like maybe stutter a little more or take longer pauses.
Yeah, I would talk faster, like super fast, because I'd be like that.
Yeah.
Like I'd be nervous about what to say, and now I've learned to like slow down my words, because it helps people understand what you're saying better.
Exactly. And not only that, I would be afraid to say something wrong, so I would take longer pauses and just think of what I was gonna say a lot really, and then just sales has better my communication to where I can at least make it flow somehow. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything like that, because I think I saw a lot of room for improvement. I think we both do, and but it's making it better for sure.
Thank you. That's cool. Yeah, I 100% do. So like sales have helped us financially and socially, and I think even emotionally, like we're more confident people than we used to be. And I think if we're reaching the right audience, I think a lot of the people that would be watching this or are watching this don't have that clear career path, or maybe they do, and this is just educational. But I think a lot of people that have that could benefit from a job like that, from sales. And I think I also want to touch on how like people can get started on that.
Yeah.
Like building something, or starting to apply to something like that, or even getting a part-time. I also want to have maybe like next episode we have someone in pre-med for school come in.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that, like touching the other perspective.
The other perspective.
Like the completely
so
other, because I know a few people that are in pre-med, and maybe I can get someone in here that can talk about how school can also be good.
I'd love to hear their part on that, because I mean, when it comes to whatever you do in life, you always gotta
There's
take
two sides to it.
Yeah, there's always two sides to that. So you gotta take into consideration both sides. You gotta know the pros and cons, right? So me not going to school might be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what I end up doing. So everyone's path is different when it comes to that. But no, I'm really interested in. Is that
honestly? I know a bunch of people that are.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll get someone in. I
had someone in mind.
Yeah, I know who you had in mind, but we'll get someone in here and see like their thoughts, pick their brain a little bit on that.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to the point of how it helps you, or at least how we're trying to, share our experience to see if maybe you can relate. Is if you don't know what to do, and you're barely like getting out of high school, or maybe you're thinking of a career switch or whatever, you won't regret going through sales. It's one of the skills that are necessary for everything, really.
Yeah.
I can think of situations where I could have used it in fast food, construction. I could have think of 1,000 situations. Construction, like communicating better with people, kind of getting your point across easier, does come a long way, and it makes the job effective for everyone. In fast food, handling customer objections better. Like if a customer's like, hey, my food, it's bad. Instead of you getting defensive with that person, you use your sales skills, right? And you just make the experience better overall for everyone, including your manager. And if he sees that you have that level of, I forgot the word again. What was it?
Emotional intelligence?
No, it's the I forgot the word.
What was it again? Give me the again.
De-escalation.
De-escalation.
That's the word I was looking for. If he sees that level of de-escalation with you, and sees this other person who gets offensive with that same or other customer, then who's gonna pick for and maybe a raise? It's gonna be that person. So it's a skill that you can use in any type of job, really. Whether it's lawyer, engineer, doctor, all the way down to not saying it's a bad position, but like fast food, retail, everything. It's gonna help you for sure. So if you're iffy about what to do, you should.
Yeah, and actually, I actually wanted to touch on like how to get into that, because not everyone can get into like higher types of sales jobs, because there's a lot of things. There's insurance. There's what I did to get into the current position that I'm in, I took a bunch of courses that I learned from. I could put on my resume, and I think that helped a lot. Like just getting comfortable with that and learning the actual job that I was applying to, because there's insurance, there's medical sales, medical device,
there's sales for
software sales,
everything. I think pretty much everything that you see with your own eyes, to a certain degree, it has to be sold. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. And I think a good way to get started is watching a bunch of YouTube videos, because that's free content. Like learn the craft. Even if it's a little bit, you'll be ahead of most of the applicants. Like you can start even in local insurance sales, like at a local agency.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good starting place.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Because it's hard work, it's local, and a lot of people don't want to do that work.
Yeah.
That's a good place to start. Like go leave your resume, touch on how you've impacted the business when you build your resume, and just learn the craft. YouTube videos. If you have like $50 to $100 to invest in a small course, do that. I did a lot of my courses in Coursera, and that helped me get a grasp for what it was, for the things that I didn't know about the specific industry.
That's right. I think what made us, I don't want to say we're the best, but we're
better than we were.
Slightly
better than we were before.
Better, yeah. Versus when we started is that one, and this is our culture, right? I don't know if you have the same culture, but if you do, we like to do a lot of work outside of work. So we like to do work for work. What that means is basically, if you do sales, your 8 hours are already occupied by you doing your job, and then on top of outside of sales, you're looking for ways to improve. And if you want to go from here to here, and for you to not take you this amount of time, how you shorten that is by, inputting more time into the actual skill of, implementing communication, building trust, and building the needs and the urgency when it comes to sales. That's how you pretty much progress with sales. Just building those fundamental pillars, and it's just pretty much doing outside of work. Yeah. Or what do you think on that?
No, I agree with that, because especially in my job, the people that I'm calling are only available during the 8 hours that I'm working, so I use that to make my calls. And like the 30 minutes before or the 30 minutes after, I schedule the next day or the day of.
Yeah.
Because that time is like it's super valuable time that I cannot waste on doing admin work. Like if I'm scheduling my calls during the time that I should be making the calls, I'm probably going to end up with 30 less calls for the day than I would have otherwise. And like one less sale made or one less meeting booked.
Exactly. And another point is that instead of focusing on having this one call perfectly shaped, it's gonna take you more time. You know, you decided what to do in that call versus if you just do that call, learn what happened within that call, and then take another one to try and slightly make it become a lot better. And that's something that I learned when I was early starting in that agency. I would take so much time looking at this person's profile to see what the approach would look like, or see what notes were left behind from other sales reps. And I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna say this and that. They have 3 children and blah blah blah. So I would craft this like perfect presentation for the person to say no
or not answer.
Yeah, or not answer.
Oh
my god! Imagine spending 20 minutes telling or thinking what you're gonna say to this person for the person not to answer. In those same 20 minutes, you could have dialed 20 different people and gotten a pickup. And that's one of the things that you should look for in sales as well. Is like, don't focus so much when you're starting. Don't focus so much on making this perfect pitch, but focus on more on the activity, on having more repetitions. That way you can build callus and get used to that rejection. Okay, because that's something else that. Man, I can go in sales for hours, but that's another thing that sales builds is the rejection. I'm pretty sure no other job has the amount of rejection that we have.
Not at all.
We go through rejections every day, multiple times.
But
so you build callous to that too. I don't know if you want to expand on that.
I think building resilience. I think that's a really good skill to have, because when I started and I got like a no, like, hey, why, I don't care, like, just do what I do what I'm saying. Like, you kind of get like uncomfortable. It's a super uncomfortable experience, and then
with anything really.
Yeah, but I think it's a good skill to learn, because it helps even business owners. I think that's the other thing that has that much rejection, like that much failure. Because they mess up so much and they make so many mistakes at the beginning that they learn from. And I feel like that's the only thing that's comparable to that, at least in that level.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you want to get into sales, what you should do when you stop watching this video, make your resume, apply to 3 jobs, and cold call the manager. Like, find their phone numbers or emails and get them something to stand out, and you'll likely get it.
Yeah, 100%. And if you feel like, you know, when it comes to sales, you're not sure about it, man, telling you from someone who's a very undecisive person, I would 100%. I 100% don't regret it. Don't regret joining sales. It's helped me in so many ways, even with really with anything that has to do with rejection. Touching on that point again, it has helped me. It doesn't, getting rejected for whatever thing doesn't feel the same before you do sales versus after you've done sales. A rejection is just like
whatever.
It's just next time.
Yeah.
Instead of it like, oh, like you thinking yourself, why did you reject
You hate me, huh?
Or do you not like me, or hate me, or what is it wrong with me? Do I look ugly or what?
But it's crazy talk.
Ugly is crazy. No, it's just rejection is a big factor in life in general. Even with relationships.
I missed the trash can
by a mile. But yeah, how you can get to sales? It's pretty simple, really. You just gotta go and Indeed. There's a lot of sales jobs out there.
Even on Google. I found mine on Google. I found my home run on Google. Just look up sales jobs or high paying jobs.
High sales paying jobs.
Yeah. Or if you go on LinkedIn is super good because you can filter it by entry level for people that don't have experience, and that's going to kill it. Like start your LinkedIn profile too.
Yeah, that's true as well. Like build your resume. Like whatever you've done up to that point, whether it's like school related. I think at one point I had like that I was in varsity on my resume.
Yeah, that's good. It's team building skills.
My old job saw that as like, oh, okay, so like you're used to the grind through sports, and he hired me because of that. And it's just stuff like that, really, that you can do to become, to get that sales jobs. And there's LinkedIn. There's what is that other one called?
Indeed, ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter is the other one. And there's just so many.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, there's so many. Back in the day, there used to be.
There's a lot of resources too on YouTube on how to get into sales or how to get started with that. So
yeah, if you want a more detailed explanation, you should
really
hop on one of those videos. But yeah, I mean, other than that, do we have any other points to discuss?
I think that's pretty much it. I think that was a good video.
I hate that it ends here, but no, I mean, if you're seeing these and you have any questions, whether it's personal questions or questions
We'll
about,
respond to comments fast.
yeah, we're pretty fast when it comes to the comments, and we haven't had any.
We haven't had any, but yeah.
But if you're more than welcome to leave a comment behind, and then let us know what you think, or if you know someone's struggling, maybe this video will help them. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I found random videos help me in my decision making too, like people with like 100 views and stuff like that help me make better decisions to whatever I'm trying to find or make a decision on has helped me. I don't know if you can relate to that.
Yeah, 100%. I think on YouTube is where I learned most of my sales techniques and how to get in. But yeah, invest in yourself, get that money. If sales is for you, go in. If not, go to school. Yeah, stay in school, kids, don't do drugs. And yeah, we'll catch them next week.
Yes.
We'll catch them next week. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, man.
That's it.
That's pretty much it. I mean, if you like the video,
like, subscribe, comment.
please like it. That helps with.
If you don't, comment that we sucked.
Yeah. Please do.
So we get
even the.
We'll get better.
Even the harmful comments will help us in the algorithm. So we'll take that with the tablespoon of honey, how they used to say. But no, that's pretty much it.
There's no way you just said that.
Yeah.
That was funny.
But yeah, other than that, thank you so much. Feel free to comment, let us know. I don't know if you can you send messages to YouTube?
I don't think they can hear you here.
Oh. Can you hear me better there?
I
think
know.
that's better. Shit doesn't even work. Can we cuss?
Yeah, we fucking can cuss.
Fuck yeah.
Maybe. Dude, I don't know.
But I don't know. Eventually, if we want to get a sponsorship like this. Yeah. Anyways,
We'll catch you guys next week.
that's about it. Bye.